Welcome to Average Dude's Slow Pitch.
Yo, Henry, Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We've had a bunch of questions from people, plus something we kind of want to see ourselves. We're talking about like deciding what weight bat you should swing, and hey, based on my swing, do you think if I use a heavier bat, I'll get more distance, more speed, things like that. So we went kind of the extreme with that one, and what we did here is with the two Incognitos, we've got a 25 ounce and a 30 ounce. Nice they make it in something that heavy. And then here in the Twisted Mistresses, we grabbed a 24 ounce and a 27 ounce. So the heaviest lines, they make it there as well. We're gonna have each guy basically come up here. We're gonna go just Pro-Ms, take about 10 swings on each bat, just to kind of see what the numbers look like. And then here at the end, right after the final thoughts piece where we just kind of wrap this thing up, I'm gonna post a little graphic that shows basically kind of the average speeds. My goal is gonna be to go on there, and on any balls guys lift that end up going out, we'll basically try to kind of keep track where they're landing. I'll do some kind of basic math on like the Google Maps, figure out distances, and then on more line drives, figure out kind of the speeds piece. And I'll have a category for like Junior, PK, and myself, just to kind of see if we're seeing some sort of significant uptick or just any kind of uptick from the lighter bats to heavier bats, as well as you'll see a compression test here in a minute. Not exact science, but the idea there as well is seeing if you're using maybe a heavier bat or a lighter bat based on your swings, if it causes compression on one versus the other to drop any faster. So this won't be a very long video, but just figured, hey, something fun to do while we're able to find some of these kind of drastic differences in weights. But let's go ahead, roll out there, knock these out. We're gonna start with the Incognitos just to get the 30 ounce out of the way. Once we get swings on both of these, we'll swap over the Mistresses. Then, like I said, we'll do a quick wrap up at the end, plus that graphic on see how these things perform. All right, as mentioned, we're gonna see where these bats start at, just so that we know kind of also the impact of compression on, like we said, the heavier versus lighter bats, things like that, to see if there's any sort of impact. So first up, this is the 27 ounce Mistress that we're testing. And it's starting just under 275, so right about 270. And then we've got the 24 ounce Twisted Mistress. And this one's closer to about 255, 260. So at least we have that for the starting point there, and we'll reference that when we get back to the end. And then the 30 ounce Miken Incognito. This will be a fun one to swing. And that one's showing like right at 240. Sometimes this turf being a little bit softer gives us a bad read. So I'm going to quarter turn and try that one more time. But yeah, so basically right at 250 is what we're looking at on that one. And on the 25 ounce Incognito, that's as light as this one went down to. That's why we're at a 25 on this one. About 265. So we've got starting points there. We'll get the swings, like we said, we'll talk about it, and then we'll get some final compression and discuss the lighter versus heavier bats. All right, we're gonna start with the 25 ounce Incognito. This one, as opposed to most videos where we kind of just mix and match and cut all the swings up so you can see everybody's, you'll see my 25 ounce straight into my 30 ounce swings on the Incognito. Then the next person's probably Juniors and then PKs. And then we'll swap over and you'll see my twisted swings, Junior's twisted swings, PK's twisted swings, just so you can kind of not have to go back and forth and kind of see, okay, here are all the random speeds over there. You'll see each person's in kind of succession. And then, like I said, at the end, we'll have that graphic up there for you. But 25 ounce Incognito, all your AAA balls here on this video.
102 miles per hour.
Man, that felt pieced.
89 miles per hour.
Slight miss. We already know the Incognito has good forgiveness, but really what we're looking for here is watching and trying to keep track of the carry, all that kind of stuff, obviously, since the comparison is the weight piece, not the bat performance. Both these bats have their own videos already out.
104 miles per hour.
Yep, there's our sweet spot. Ooh, that's handled.
93 miles per hour.
Every now and then I will say, for me, and this is where it comes back to personal preference, the lighter bat, the timing is just a hair off on a couple swings. I got to really make sure I sit back, end up a little early on that one, and obviously caught it wrong. But that's where, not performance-wise, but if you're somebody who normally swings a heavier bat, and you're going to a lighter bat for whatever purpose, just get comfortable with it, because I will say, I feel like it throws timing off a little bit.
102 miles per hour.
Okay.
98 miles per hour.
All right, well, there we have it for the 25 ounce. Let's swap to the 30, and while we're swinging the 30, we'll talk direct to the difference from the 25-30, and then obviously PK and Junior will do the same for you as they swing.
104 miles per hour.
Well, there's an instant huge uptick.
106 miles per hour.
Yeah, so I mean, immediately, and again, this is going to be, obviously you don't feel a drastic difference, but let's just say you've been swinging 25 and you feel like it's been light. The idea here is, it doesn't make sense to go 26, 27, whatever works for you. Obviously, I'm not saying go from 25 to 30, but at least for me, who I normally swing at 27, this actually isn't too hard to control with that half ounce end load. And I can tell an immediate you can tell the extra mass doesn't require nearly as hard of a swing. I felt like the 25, I was swinging a lot harder than I really want to. And I think we topped out like 102, something like that. So far at the 30 ounce, every swing's been triple digits and the ball's absolutely flying off. And so I think that's where we see a little bit what we're talking about. And as we get to juniors and PK swings, we'll see with all the different swing types, if we see as much of an uptick, or if maybe for them it's not a velo thing, it's a carry thing, whatever it might be.
89 miles per hour.
Because that's towards the handle, but that already looks like it's carrying way better. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And that's the barrel.
98 miles per hour.
Yeah, for sure. At least for me personally, the 30 ounce is a significant improvement. If like we were at a bat pride tournament, that hey, all you got is 25s and 30s, I'm 100% going 30, even though to me, throughout the day, obviously, you're probably gonna get a little tired. 30 ounces is a lot, especially for BP. But I would rather have to almost, maybe it slows the swing down just a little bit. I don't feel like I'm losing a lot of swing speed, if any. I don't know. That's something else I have to measure. But for the forgiveness and the fact that the mass of the bat's doing all the work, for me, it 100% is the way to go.
102 miles per hour.
Yep. Definite uptick.
95 miles per hour.
All right, there's definitely no need for more swings here at the Incognito. I think that meets the intent. Plus, again, you're going to have juniors and PK swings. But just from the initial point, me being the first one up here, I will say we've got a pretty good difference going from the 25 to the 30. So just something to keep in mind there. Hopefully that kind of helped with the idea of what we're doing here. Again, we'll have numbers carry all that stuff to the best that I can. I'll run through it. Graphic might look a little different than I'm describing once I figure out what works best.
92 miles per hour.
Okay.
97 miles per hour. 92 miles per hour.
In with sprinklers, here we go.
All right.
91 miles per hour.
Bat's pretty easy to control. Has a very good sweet spot. Has a really good sound too, but I feel like for the first initial swings, it's got good performance, you know. Just took the wrappers off of these guys, and this Incognito feels really good for it being the first few swings.
82 miles per hour. 91 miles per hour.
All right, guys, again, freaking Incognito feels good. Surprisingly good feeling performance for it being right out of the wrapper, but I don't know what this thing tested at. But again, guys, pretty good little performance for being fresh out of the wrapper and good control.
91 miles per hour.
Okay.
89 miles per hour. 84 miles per hour.
Dang, man.
I think you're getting better carry.
Yeah, I mean, moving on to what is it, essentially a 5 ounce heavier bat. That weight, I mean, you could definitely feel the weight in your hands, but it also transfers a little bit more carry on the ball. You can keep the same swing, but once you find that barrel, you're gonna see that 5 ounces really make a big difference, especially on missed swings.
93 miles per hour.
Okay, guys, so I do see that carry. It's a little bit, it's not as prevalent as I thought it was going to be for me personally. I did still stay in the 90-mile-an-hour range regardless of that 5-ounce difference in bat. But again, you know, go with what feels good. You know, I was able to square up pretty much most of the balls on the barrel, and again, you know, there is a little bit more carry on that heavier bat, but I don't think it's significant enough for me to have to go and swing a 5-ounce heavier bat. That's just my personal opinion, but again, swing what's comfortable, because that's the only thing that matters.
All right, here we go. It's my turn. I've watched Hendo and I've watched Caesar Jr. Swing the different weights. We're gonna start with the 25-ounce on the Incognito, the Miken, and then jump over to the 30 and see which one works better for me.
79 miles per hour. 82 miles per hour. 73 miles per hour. 78 miles per hour. 77 miles per hour. 73 miles per hour.
Okay, there's the 25-ounce. I kind of liked it because it's lighter, and going through a tournament for my age, it might help me out to be able to keep my bat speed going. But because of the weight, I felt like there's too much room for error because of the weight. It was just too light for me. I'm gonna jump to the 30, see what my performance is off of that. Does it feel like a log? Yes, it does, but I'll keep going. Holy crap.
74 miles per hour.
Okay, carry was different.
85 miles per hour.
Velo's a little bit different on a heavier bat.
86 miles per hour.
Okay.
85 miles per hour.
Okay, so there's the 30-ounce. Now, I will say, standing in the box, holding this bat in place, yes, you can feel the significant weight. As you start to come through with your techniques and everything else, it's all the same, and it kind of disperses all the weight the right way, and it doesn't feel as heavy. But standing in the box with a heavier bat, it does make a difference throughout a longer tournament. The carry off the bat, as long as you squared them up, was a lot better for me than the 25. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and jump to the Twisted Mistress and check those weights out. All right, 24-ounce Twisted Mistress, mid-load. And this is, well, if I dislocate my shoulder trying to swing this thing, whew, it's a feather right there.
84 miles per hour.
All right, we'll get the timing right here, but I can honestly say I think this is the first time I've ever swung a 24, and boy, this is I might have to let my son use this for T-ball.
103 miles per hour.
Okay.
101 miles per hour.
We'll say though, even with the 24, it hasn't been out that long, and I already forgot how good this Midload Mistress is.
95 miles per hour.
Hey, I mean, it got up out of here, but you can tell it's taking a lot of swing to really maximize this performance.
93 miles per hour.
There we go. Ah, I stayed in the rocks, now I gotta climb the hill.
95 miles per hour.
Yeah, I think Stella got a groove back on that one.
Yeah, that'll do it for the 24. I will say it's a lot more of a higher pitch sound than I'm used to with the DeMarinis. I think that could obviously be that lighter model there, but Either way, let's roll the 27, see what we get for some of the speed comparison, some carry, and move on.
101 miles per hour.
Well, that feels right.
108 miles per hour.
I think I was right about the sound piece at least. This is already a completely different sound. And I think it's just from the extra mass, from the mid-load, weighting, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and again, it's coming off better for sure. Oh my goodness.
100 miles per hour.
Yeah, I think we've kind of summed it up for me personally, and we'll see everyone else, but the weight increase is huge. And it'll matter, I think, less based on your swing speed, strength, size, all that kind of stuff.
107 miles per hour.
Oh yeah. And I had to put everything I had into that one to generate everything. With this one, even on a couple swings, the wind's kicking up a little bit, blowing out here this way, the pitches are moving just enough that I gotta make some adjustments, but I don't have to swing super hard. I just gotta make the correction, put the barrel on the ball, and it's performing great.
100 miles per hour.
Yeah, 2 more and we will wrap this up and move on to the next person.
105 miles per hour.
Yep, all right. Heavy bats win for me.
102 miles per hour.
Yeah, okay.
91 miles per hour. 90 miles per hour.
I think we know which bat's hotter.
81 miles per hour. 81 miles per hour.
I'll tell you this, it feels like a toothpick, but I mean, you're still getting good carry, still getting good performance, still getting great sound. I mean, for those guys that like to swing really light bats, I don't think you're going to be disappointed here, but we'll see how that performance translates when we swing that 27-ounce mid-load.
86 miles per hour. 80 miles per hour. 85 miles per hour.
Man, tons of carry off the wall over there. All right, guys, that'll do it for the Twisted Mistress mid-load 13-inch barrel, 24-ounce sticker weight. Let's see how that performance translates when we swing a little bit heavier bat. See if we see a significant difference here.
89 miles per hour.
Okay.
Different sound.
91 miles per hour.
Okay.
94 miles per hour. 94 miles per hour. 88 miles per hour.
That's a pretty good stopping point right there, guys, for this Twisted Mistress. So me personally, okay, all across the board when it comes to the Twisted Mistress, the lighter bat has a way different sound. I totally feel that carry significantly better. I did see a more noticeable difference when it comes to these mid-loads as far as the carry, the performance, and the sound. That 27-ounce mid-load here versus the 24 mid-load here, you see a lot more forgiveness, a lot more performance, and it felt like initially. And the sound was a big difference for me as well. So again, I feel that in these two bats, there is a significant difference from a 27 to a 24. But again, it's all about feel. You know, that this is my personal opinion. So you guys go with what you guys think is best. But for me, 27, 24, a lot more performance, a lot more forgiveness, and better sound from the heavier bat.
71 miles per hour.
Okay, that's a bit better.
81 miles per hour.
I feel like I have to wield this bat because it's so light. You know what I'm saying? Instead of free swinging, because it's so light, I have to wield it to make sure I'm staying in the zone and coming through at the right time.
81 miles per hour.
Hey, that's a pretty good carry on a 24.
85 miles per hour.
Pretty decent cut. I guess what it all boils down to is learning your tool, making sure that you put your craft into what you're working with. Yeah, 100%.
85 miles per hour.
Last one in your hand for this one.
85 miles per hour.
Okay, like I said, 24 ounce, first time I ever swung one. You really have, in order for you to be successful with it, you're gonna have to learn your craft, learn your tool. You can't just pick something up and say, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and swing this. Some people can. People, you know, what do they say? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, stuff like that, you really have to concentrate on. I felt like I was having to wield the bat at first to find the sweet spot and to find it through the zone. So now I'm gonna go to a weight that I'm accustomed to and see what it has with the 27 ounce Midload Twisted Mistress.
84 miles per hour.
Good carry, good carry. What do you have?
84 miles per hour.
There's a barrel shot. I'll take it.
84 miles per hour.
There's your handles. They still work.
82 miles per hour.
Fair ball.
85 miles per hour.
One more, see if I can't lift it, Junior.
77 miles per hour.
Okay, so there you have them. There is the Twisted Mistress by DeMarini and the Incognito by Miken. So we had the 25 and the 30, 24 and 27. Now, on the lighter bats for me, for a guy my age, it took me a minute to learn the bat and get down into the nitty gritty. The lighter bats, I felt like I had to wield them through until I learned it, found the sweet spot, found where I'm supposed to be. But ultimately, through a tournament, heavier bats might hurt me, as opposed to the lighter bats might get me through a tournament, but I will have to adjust my swing accordingly. So if that helps anybody out, cool. And I'm sorry if I didn't, but there you go.
And that'll do it for the Twisteds. That'll do it for all of them, actually. But again, you'll see everyone's swings here, graphic here at the end. I think I talked about enough there as we went. But for me, really no comparison. 100% go with the heavier bat. All right, and again, purely for some data purposes, let's test these bats out. So first up, we're going to start with the 25 ounce Freak Incognito. And all the numbers, everything will be in the graphic here right after the testing. And the 25 ounce is still sitting 260, 265. So nice and high there on that one. And real quick before I move the next one, looks like, oh, nope, it looked like it was a little loose. I guess I was wrong. And then we got the 30 ounce Freak Incognito. And I'm doing all of these USSSA stamp up just so they are all being tested in the same spot. We did our best to kind of rotate these as we swung them, try to keep the data as accurate as possible. And on the 30 ounce, we're sitting like dead on 240. I will quarter turn one time to make sure we didn't just beat up one side more than the other. And this side's 250. So you got basically 265 on the 25 ounce, and then about 240 to 250 on the 30 ounce. Be interested to see if the Twisted Mistresses do the same thing where the lighter model comes in higher compression or not, which a little more mass, impact, all that kind of stuff, it would make sense for kind of what we were thinking with this. .24 ounce. Just a hair over 250, maybe right on 250. For this one, I will quarter turn as well, just to see what we're getting on this other side. And this side's like 260. So somewhere between 250 and 260 on the 24 ounce. And then on the 27 ounce, right at 250. The quarter turn on the 27 ounce. So these two are pretty much identical, 250 to 260 on the two twisteds. Obviously we saw the big difference there on the Freak Incognitos. Either way, stay tuned. Right after this, you're gonna see the graphic that has the different numbers up there, just to try to get you some of the data from kind of what we saw on this one. And obviously you heard us talk about it a little bit as we all took our swings, and then kind of there in our real quick final thoughts. But either way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more content.